What if her silence isn't confusion, but punishment? What if the moment she left, she wasn't searching for clarity? Show us testing your weakness. That's Steppert. No one tells you, this isn't just heartbreak. This is psychological and right. Now, your Battlefield, she knows what she's doing. Don't be fooled by the ghosting, the cold shoulder, the fake indifference. That silence. It's calculated. It's her move, and she's waiting to see yours. Will you beg? Will you crumble? Will you post something desperate just to get her attention? Most guys fold. They chase. They explain. They try to win her back, but every time you reach out, every time you'll break your silence, you don't look stronger, you look predictable. That is the moment she knows she owns your emotions, but you're not here to buy owned. You're here to reclaim control. Isn't about getting her back, it's about getting yourself back. We don't beg, we don't explain. We become untouchable. And here's the twist. The moment you stop needing her is the moment she starts questioning everything. You want her to regret it. Then stop reacting, stop posting, stop explaining. Go dark, go silent, go stoic. If you're done being confused by her silence, if you're to face the truth with your eyes open, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment. I choose clarity over chaos. Now, let's begin. Number 1. She didn't leave to heal, she left to hurt. That's the truth they don't want to tell you. Not every breakup is a journey of self-reflection or emotional confusion. Sometimes, a woman walks away not to find herself, but to see how completely she can undo you. It's not always a sad farewell with a heavy heart. Sometimes, it's cold. It's deliberate. It's meant to shake you at your core. When she walked away, it wasn't just an exit, it was a trigger. She wanted to flip your world upside down and watch how you'd handle the wreckage. And while you imagine she's in solitude, meditating and healing, the reality is different. She's watching, just not directly. Through mutual friends, through your stories, your posts, your digital footprint. She's waiting to see you falter, and every time you reach out, post something emotional, or try to repair what's already broken, you don't look loving. You look dependent. You look like someone still under her control. That's what it was always about. Power, ego, validation. Her silence. It's not distance, it's a strategy. She doesn't need to block you, she needs you to obsess. Because the more you chase, the more confident she becomes. She doesn't even need to respond, your effort is the fuel. And here's the most dangerous lie. You keep telling yourself she's hurting too, that she's just as lost, that at any moment, she'll come back, realizing everything she gave up. Stop, that's the trap. That belief keeps you emotionally stuck, waiting for someone who already made a decision. Here's the truth. Someone who truly loves you doesn't vanish and use silence as punishment. A woman who cares doesn't emotionally ambush you with distance, hoping you'll crumble. Love doesn't test your worth through suffering, so now it's your move. You stop waiting. You stop feeding energy into a ghost. This is where you reclaim your strength, not with anger, but with self-control. This isn't emotional detachment, it's emotional maturity. You stop letting someone else dictate how you feel about yourself. She wasn't your downfall, she was your wake-up call. What she exposed was the part of you that needs healing, not because of her, but because of your own attachment. And that's the gift. Now you know where to grow, so let her wander. Let her silence be met with your calm. No reaching out. Number chasing, no playing the game. You've stopped playing. You've taken the board away. And when she sees that you didn't flinch, that you didn't fall apart, that you didn't beg for answers, regret will come. Quiet, uncomfortable, sharp, but you'll already be on the other side. Healing, growing, whole. Number 2. Pain is the greatest teacher if you let it be. Pain was never the enemy. Heartbreak is supposed to hurt. That's part of the human experience. The real issue isn't the pain itself, it's what you do with it. Most men, when faced with heartbreak, they numb it. They distract themselves with noise, parties, rebound hookups, constant scrolling, or empty affirmations. They throw surface-level solutions at a soul-deep wound. But pain like this doesn't vanish. It waits, it lingers. It shows up in the quiet, at 2 a.m. when a song hits the wrong way, or in moments you thought you'd moved on. If you refuse to face it, it doesn't go away. It drives you from the inside out. But pain, as brutal as it is also honest. It won't lie to you. It reveals the hard truths. You were leaning too hard on someone else to feel whole. You were mistaking love for validation. You thought someone else's presence could repair the parts of you you hadn't faced. That wasn't love, that was attachment dressed as connection. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop resisting the pain, it becomes your power. When you stop running, blaming, numbing, pain transforms. It becomes discipline. It becomes a silent, steady reminder that says, never again. That's where true strength is forged, not in denial, but in the fire of acceptance. In the moment you stop wishing it didn't happen and start asking, what is this here to teach me? Pain strips away illusion. It exposes the fantasy. It forces you to confront what's real, including the fact that the version of her you loved may not have ever fully existed. And that deep ache you feel, that's not weakness. That's exposure. You've seen the parts of yourself that were too dependent, too willing to give away your power. And now, you get to rebuild, not just move on, but evolve. This is where You reconstruct your mindset. So the next time you love, it's not from emptiness, it's from overflow. So the next time you give, it's not to be completed, it's because you're already whole. And that pain you feel right now, one day, it won't hurt anymore, but it will still speak. It will be the reason you never chase again, the reason you never beg, the reason you never hand your identity to someone else again. Pain is the professor. Stop skipping the lesson. Number 3. The power of silence. It's louder than rage. If you really want to shock her, don't scream, don't text, don't post, just say nothing, do nothing. That's the move, because here's the truth. Rage is predictable. The emotional outburst, the 3 a.m. voicemail, the cryptic quotes on your story, she expects all of it. And when you react with anger, or desperation, or pain, it confirms something for her, that she still holds power over your emotions. But silence. Silence is a different kind of weapon. It's not about manipulation. It's about reclaiming your peace. She left you with unanswered questions. She ghosted, she blamed, she created confusion, and everything inside you wants to respond. You want closure. You want to be heard. You want to explain your side. Don't, because the moment you speak, you signal that she still matters more than your inner calm, and that's too high a price to pay. Real strength isn't shown in words, it's in restraint. Stoicism isn't being numb. It's knowing where your energy is sacred. And in this case, silence is your boundary. No texts, no subtweets, no passive-aggressive lyrics. The strongest men don't announce their healing, they live it. And when she sees that you haven't flinched, that you didn't spiral, that you're not performing for her attention, that silence starts to work in reverse. She begins to hear it, to feel it. It echoes back to her louder than any words ever could. She doesn't regret the breakup because you begged. She regrets it because you didn't. Because you vanished. Because you mirrored her behavior and gave her emptiness right back. And that's what creates the most discomfort. Not your reaction, your lack of it. Silence is a mirror. It reflects everything they didn't want to face. It forces them to sit with the consequences of their choices, without your voice to distract them. And trust me, if she walked away just to see if you'd break, and you didn't, that's when she starts to question everything. You want to win, don't react. Go silent, not to punish, but to protect. Not as a game, but as a principle, as a quiet, unwavering message. I don't explain my worth, I embody it. Let her speak to the void she created. Let her feel the weight of your absence. That silence. That's your strength. Number 4. Stop explaining yourself. Let her wonder. The moment you start explaining yourself, you give away your power. Every message that says, here's what really happened, or I just want you to understand, every plea for clarity screams one thing. You're still looking for her validation. And the second you need someone to validate your truth, you're no longer in control. You're performing, you're hoping, you're bleeding yourself dry just to feel seen. But here's what you have to remember. She already decided what version of the story she wanted to believe the day she walked away. Maybe she painted you as cold, distant, selfish, emotionally unavailable, and now she gets to play the victim, rewrite the script, justify her exit. That's not your job to fix. That's not your story to chase. A grounded man doesn't beg to be understood. He doesn't waste energy defending himself to someone who's already made up their mind. He walks with peace, with clarity, with stillness. And when you stop explaining yourself, you'll become unpredictable. And unpredictability, that's power. She'll start wondering, why isn't he trying to clear his name? Why isn't he texting me back? That silence forces her to sit in the version of you she built, while slowly realizing she might have never really known you at all. And that discomfort, that's yours to give. Let her wonder, let her wrestle with what she thinks she knows. Because the truth doesn't beg to be believed, endures. The people who matter, the ones who know you, they won't need an explanation. And the rest, let them talk, let them assume. You don't owe the world a breakdown or a biography. Explaining yourself is often just a disguised attempt to stay connected, a last-ditch effort to keep her attention. But attention rooted in pity or guilt isn't love, it's dependency. So cut that cord. If she truly wanted to know who you are, she would have stayed close enough to witness your growth. If she's curious now, let that curiosity live in silence. Don't defend your character, don't justify your growth, just evolve. That quiet, grounded refusal to defend yourself, that's what echoes. That's what haunts, not the words. Not the begging, the mystery, the calm, the strength. Number 5. You were the prize. She was the test. You thought she was the prize. You made her happiness the goal, her approval, your reward. You told yourself, if I can just make her stay, make her smile, make her choose me, then I win. But that mindset is exactly what broke you. She was never the prize. She was the test. A test to see how much of yourself you'd give up for love. A test of whether you'd abandon your boundaries, your peace, your sense of purpose just to be enough for someone else. And when she left, that was never a failure. That was your result. It revealed what needed to change. The version of you that tried to earn love through overgiving, over-explaining, overextending, that version needed to die. Because that wasn't strength, that was survival. That was insecurity disguised as loyalty. Loyalty without boundaries is not love, it's self-erasure. And in the beginning, yes, maybe, She was drawn to the attention, the access, the willingness to bend. But once she had it all, she didn't respect it. Because when someone doesn't have to earn you, they eventually stop valuing you. But this is where it turns. The moment you reclaim your frame, the moment you realize you were the asset all along, everything changes. Not just with her, but with everyone. You stop auditioning, you stop performing, you stop trying to convince anyone of your worth. You don't walk into rooms hoping to be chosen. You walk in knowing who you are. She wasn't your destination. She was the checkpoint, a moment in time meant to expose the parts of you that were still chasing validation. And now, you've seen it. Now you rebuild. Now you become the man you admire. The man who doesn't just survive heartbreak, he transforms through it. You become so centered, so grounded, so focused that the idea of being someone's backup plan is laughable. You're not angry that she left. You're grateful because she didn't break you. She revealed where you needed to reinforce your foundation, and now that you're solid, you don't chase. You attract. You don't beg. You bless. You don't explain. You exit. You were never meant to win her. You were meant to grow through her. And the moment you walked away without looking back, that's when you passed the test. Number 6. Control the mind or be controlled by her memory. The most dangerous part of a breakup isn't when she walks away. It's the echo that follows the memory looping endlessly in your mind. Every conversation, every laugh, every soft goodbye replays like a highlight reel designed to haunt you. That's how she lingers, not in person, but in your thoughts. And if you don't master your mind, that memory will run your life. She doesn't have to be around to control you. One scent, one place, one photo, and suddenly she's living rent-free in your head. Every time you indulge those memories, every time you feed the what if or maybe she'll come back fantasy, you surrender. You give your energy to someone who isn't even present. That's emotional slavery, and Stoicism calls it irrational. You can't control that she left or how she left, but you can control the story you tell yourself about it. Was it love or a warning, something beautiful or just familiar? Every time her image creeps in, you choose the lens. Will it fuel your growth or drain your strength? If it drains, cut it out like poison. This isn't just heartbreak, it's war. Not with her, but with your own mind. She may have walked away, physically, but if you let her memory control you, she walks through your life long after she's gone. Detachment isn't optional, it's necessary. You think you're processing. No, you're relapsing. Every overthink, every scroll through old messages, every profile stalk that's self-inflicted. Torture disguised as nostalgia. Control isn't about pretending it never mattered. It's about refusing to let it dominate your inner world. Face the memory. Strip it of fantasy. Stop dressing it in emotion. Dissect it like data. What did it teach you? What did it expose? What part of you is still clinging to someone who let go? Your mind is either your weapon or your weakness. Choose wisely, because if you don't take command, her memory will. And she won't even have to lift a finger. You'll be doing the damage for her. Number 7. Attention is currency, and you're spending too much. Every time you give her your attention, directly or indirectly, you're paying her in your most valuable currency. Attention is focus. Focus is energy. Energy is power. Think liking her posts, checking her stories, asking mutual friends about her, or even just thinking about her is harmless. Think again. That's a transaction, and you're the one getting drained. Here's what no one tells you in the game of attraction. Whoever needs less holds the most power. When she left, she didn't just walk away from the relationship. She challenged your self-control. She wants to know if she still owns your thoughts without saying a word. And every time you give her your attention, you confirm her power. Even your healing can become a performance if you're doing it too. Prove something to her. That gym photo, that deep quote, the "I'm good without you" post. All noise if the motive is still her. Real detachment doesn't look like shouting from rooftops. It looks like silence, peace. Moving through your day so locked in on your mission she becomes background noise. Attention is leverage. It's not just about what you look at, it's what you ignore. Every second spent replaying old fights or stalking her online is a second not spent building yourself, leveling up, turning pain into purpose. And she knows that. She knows how deeply you gave her your attention. That's why pulling it back hits harder than words ever could. Want her to regret losing you? Starve her of your attention, not to manipulate, but to reset, to rebuild. Because the moment she feels real silence, the moment your name disappears from her notifications, and your energy disappears from her life, that's when the regret starts knocking. You don't get stronger by fighting her memory. You get stronger by starving it. Your focus is a weapon. Stop wasting bullets on someone who isn't even in the arena anymore. Number 8. Attraction grows in absence. Not begging. You want her to feel something again. Stop chasing. Stop calling. Stop trying to remind her what you were. Attraction doesn't thrive on presence. It thrives on absence. Begging, explaining, pleading it only confirms one thing. You've got nothing else going for you but her. Once she senses that, the mystery dies. The pull evaporates. You become predictable, safe, and forgettable. When someone knows you'll always be there emotionally, digitally, physically, they stop needing to think about you. You've already given them the security of your desperation. Nothing kills desire faster than certainty. It's silence that creates intrigue, space that sparks curiosity. Your absence makes her wonder, did I misjudge him? Did I lose something valuable? Most men panic in that space. They rush to fill the gap with one more text, one more memory, one more thinking of you. But all that does is remind her why she left. What you think is romantic, she sees as weak. What you think is proving love, she sees as proving need. Stoic. Detachment isn't emotional shutdown, it's emotional control. You don't withhold affection to manipulate. You create distance to regain respect. You show her through your absence that you no longer orbit around her, that your world kept moving, your life kept expanding, and she's no longer the center of it. When you pull back, stop showing up, commenting, reacting, that void speaks louder than any message that says, I no longer need to be seen to feel whole. The second she realizes she is no longer in your spotlight, she's forced to wonder if someone else is. That's when doubt creeps in. That's when the memories start tasting different. You don't build attraction by proving your love, you build it by proving your absence. So step back, not to punish, but to protect yourself, to give her room to feel what life is like without you, because if she ever truly valued you, that silence will echo. And if she didn't, that silence will protect you from wasting your time again. Number 9. Your success is the loudest revenge. Forget emotional arguments, forget closure talks, forget trying to make her understand what she walked away from. The loudest thing you can say to someone who left you behind is nothing. Just win, just succeed. Disappear into your grind so completely that her name doesn't belong in the same sentence as your future. That's not bitterness. That's rebirth. You don't want to prove her wrong. You want to prove yourself right. Write the story of the man you're becoming. Write about the standards you now live by. Chasing revenge through attention or validation, that's weak. It's still about her. But turning your pain into discipline, into focus, into unstoppable momentum, that's power. That's when people start asking what happened to him. That's when you become untouchable. Success is a shift mental first. It's waking up and realizing you don't need her to see you. You need to see yourself clearly, fully, without the fog of heartbreak. Once you lock in on that mission, your body changes, your energy shifts, your path sharpens. You start attracting different people, not because you tried, but because your whole frequency changes. Scarcity is gone, desperation is dead. The irony, that's when she feels it, not when you post, not when you vent, but when she hears about you from someone else. When she sees the glow dash up, when she realizes the version of you she thought would collapse actually evolved into someone she wouldn't even recognize. That's when the silence becomes deafening. That's when regret cuts deep. But you won't care, not really, because by then you've outgrown the entire conversation. You don't need to be seen. You become undeniable. The man who once needed closure now writes his own story on his own terms, at his own pace. And no, she's not invited. Your success isn't revenge, it's proof. She was never your final chapter, just a turning point. Let her live in the past. You're already 3 levels ahead. Number 10. Detachment isn't cold. It's clarity. People say detachment means you don't care, that you're numb, or that you've turned cold. Nope. Detachment is the highest form of clarity. It's the refusal to let external chaos dictate your internal peace. It's knowing exactly what you feel, but choosing not to act on every impulse. It's power, not because you're heartless, but because you've mastered the art of not reacting. She might call you distant. She might say, you changed, and she'd be right. You did change. You stopped bleeding every time someone walked away. You stopped giving pieces of yourself just to feel wanted. You stopped handing out emotional access like it was free. That's not cold. That's wisdom earned through pain. Stoicism teaches you to observe without attachment, love without obsession, care without collapsing. You can miss her and still move forward. You can feel the loss and still not reach out. That's not weakness, that's strength in its purest form. Because the old you would have cracked, the old you would have chased. But now you pause, you breathe, you protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Here's the truth. People respect what they can't shake. When she realizes her silence didn't trigger your breakdown, when she sees you have emotionally unplugged from the fantasy, when she finally understands your world didn't stop spinning after she left, that's when regret settles in, quiet, lingering, unanswered. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't have to flex to be respected. You just have to detach from what doesn't serve you. Because once you do, you stop being reactive and start being unshakable. That's when people feel your absence deeper than they ever felt your presence. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care more about yourself than the version of you who begged for breadcrumbs. And that shift, that's not the end of the story. It's the start of your legacy. The moment she regrets, it won't be loud. It won't come with apologies or phone calls. It'll come in silence. Late night scrolls when she sees you've gone dark, moved on, leveled up. That the man she thought would fall apart, he became untouchable instead. And the worst part, she won't say a word because pride won't let her. Ego won't admit it. She'll stay silent. And you'll stay stoic. This isn't hate. This isn't revenge. This is resurrection. The man who begged, who explained, who lost himself trying to keep someone else, he's gone. You buried him now. What rises in his place is focused, disciplined, grounded, no longer seeking approval, no longer chasing ghosts. You don't need her to regret it out loud. You just need to be the kind of man who doesn't care if she does. Remember, healing isn't about punishing yourself or others, it's about reclaiming your own power and peace. Detachment isn't shutting down, it's waking up to your worth and setting healthy boundaries. It's loving yourself enough to walk away from what no longer serves you. So be gentle with yourself. Honor the growth, the strength, the clarity you've earned, and trust that with every step forward, you're creating space for something better, something real. Stay grounded, stay kind, and above all, stay true to the man you're becoming. Because the greatest love you'll ever find starts with the love you give yourself.